Hi, I'm Darren. I'm here at the Botanical Boys store based in King's Cross, and we're here today to show you the very art of building your own ecosystem in the form of a terrarium. A terrarium is a self-sustaining living organism, if you like, with plants inside an enclosed jar which looks after itself. It feeds its own oxygen and carbon dioxide and a cycle of water to keep it alive. So it's a garden in a jar. It's filled with plants and soils and mosses that can survive in a slightly higher humid environment. Think of it as a mini greenhouse for your home, something that you can observe and love and nurture for very long periods of time with minimal maintenance. What more could you ask for a plant at home? At Botanical Boys, we teach the art of terrariums by putting earthy materials inside an enclosed jar, and we teach you all the elements on how to bring that together into a lovely micro garden to take home and nurture. Today, we're going to be showing you guys at home how to use similar materials to build your very own terrarium, and of course the ultimate care guide as to keeping them alive and beautiful looking for your home. You can also purchase one of our kits. We've got bespoke kits in our own boxes. Perhaps you want to gift that to a friend, and you can follow our QR guide on there. It'll take you some relevant steps on how to build your very own terrarium, or come down to one of our workshops on a 2-hour session on our lovely corner of King's Cross and learn how to build one to take home yourself. So what you need at home is some sort of container. It has to be glass to let the light in, because plants like light, and it needs a lid, ideally with no holes or gaps, to keep the moisture and the carbon dioxide and the oxygen inside the garden. I've chosen this nice big biscuit jar. If you like, most people have got something similar to this at home. You can also use a jam jar with a metal lid, that's absolutely fine. Or also a Kilner jar, or if you've finished doing your little copper savings jars, you can probably use something like that, as long as it's got some sort of lid. Ideally cork, metal or glass is ideal, but it has to be a closed lid in order for the terrarium to do its cycling. In order for your terrarium to be successful, you need to create a similar environment as in nature. So those materials that you do need to create that environment is some clay pellets or some leftover gravel from your garden. Make sure it's washed, of course. We use these lovely clay pellets because they're nice and light and airy, and it doesn't make your jar too heavy. And we use a layer of sphagnum moss, which is really lovely, yummy as well, really nice forest smell. And that is for our filter layer, and it also provides a little bit of moisture for your terrarium as well. And on top of that, of course, the most important is using terrarium substrate mix, which is a mix of normal potting mix that you can buy from a garden centre, but this particular mix has got added activated carbon for its filtration properties, as well as some perlite, which is those white little stones you might find in a garden centre, in the pots. That just helps with aeration, and it prevents too much moisture from clogging up in the soil. And of course, most importantly, you need your range of plants. And so ideally jungle plants or plants that like higher humidity environments, such as these beautiful Phytonias and these asparagus ferns, and a bit of what our favourite is, a bit of English ivy that you can find almost in any garden down the end of your street. And last but not least, as you're putting this together, you need just a little toolkit. We here at Botanical Boys got a very simple cork stick and a little art brush to keep your garden clean. When you shop for your plants, just ask the garden centres what the conditions are for these in order to survive. So you need a plant that likes slightly higher humidity. Ferns are usually quite good, you can get them in most garden centres. We use Phytonias, these beautiful veiny looking plants here, commonly known as nerve plants. They come in different varieties. And we use this lovely asparagus fern. Now it doesn't have the vegetables unfortunately with this one, but it is part of the asparagus family, and they make a beautiful wispy connection in your garden. Once you've got your plants in, of course, we use some decorative materials. I like to use these lovely Japanese little pebbles here. You can use any pebbles even in your garden, but just make sure you give them a little wash, because you don't want to encourage any insects into your garden. And then we use this lovely aquatic gravel. So if you've got a fish tank at home, you might have some spare. This is a great way to reuse any spare gravel at home. And at the very end, we like to create a lovely little hillscape to emulate the little valleys, perhaps a Welsh valley or the Yorkshire Dales, wherever your imagination goes. And with that, we use a little bit of this beautiful natural bun moss or hill moss to create a lovely hillscape. And of course, you can put all your characters in there and whatever diorama figures you've got as well, just to be even more creative at home.